They assigned me to observation deck 6 last cycle. I hadn't volunteered. No one does. Officially, it's a post of merit. Recognition for decades of non-intrusive xenobehavioral analysis. The Council speaks of it as an honor, to witness the apex species of Sector Sol 3 from a safe vantage. But no one stays long. They rotate us often. That's the first clue. The second is the silence. Observation Deck 6 is a glass box. Reinforced paneled hull, anti-reflective coating, magnetic sealants. The cleanest view of Earth allowed by treaty. There are no comm panels in the room. No ambient audio. No interface but one, the real-time stream from orbital lens arrays. They want you to watch, and nothing else. Earth fills the viewport now. It's beautiful in the way a wound is beautiful under clean light, vibrant, raw, and never quite healed. I used to think humanity was primitive. Most of us did. They broadcast violence like ritual. Every stream filled with war chants and challenge declarations. But then the conflicts stopped being public. They vanished from the feeds. The transmissions were cut or distorted. Only fragments remained. No one knew why. So they sent us closer. And now I understand. I arrived 3 rotations ago. The humans were already mobilizing again, but quieter this time. No fanfare. No calls for glory. Just efficient, precise movement. Their eyes lacked the gleam of conquest. This wasn't about territory. This was survival. Or something deeper. Something instinctual. The lens feed shifted. A city, or what remained of one, scrolled into view. Smoke crawled up the edges. Streets flooded with silence. No bodies. Just absence. Like people had been removed, not killed. The AI overlay flickered, trying to identify signatures. It found none. I leaned closer. The glass was cold. In the corner of the frame, a child's bicycle sat on its side. One wheel still slowly turning. No wind registered. No seismic activity. It just spun. As if something unseen had pushed it. Recently. I didn't log that. I closed the visual stream and requested archive playback. 2 cycles prior. The system hesitated. Lagged. Then unlocked the feed. I scrubbed backward. Humans had been there. Soldiers. Marching in formation. Faces hidden behind black helmets, no insignias. No laughter. No speech. Just a quiet, coordinated progression through the city streets. Then something happened. The footage skipped. A 1-minute gap. And when it resumed, the city was empty. The same street. Same angle. Only smoke and silence remained. And that wheel. Turning. I stood back from the console. Deck 6 to command. I said into the comm strip. Stream shows corrupted segment. Request full sensor diagnostics. No reply. I waited. 10 seconds. Still nothing. I tried again. Command, verify link integrity. Silence. A soft hiss filled the room instead, faint, irregular. Almost like breathing. I turned off the mic. Checked environmental levels. Oxygen, stable. Pressure, normal. Internal temperature. Slight drop. Unscheduled. That wasn't possible. Deck 6 was sealed. I exhaled slowly, fogging the inside of my mask. Not fear. Just an instinct. We're trained not to react. But my hands wouldn't still. I sat down again and replayed the footage. This time, I paused right before the blackout. The last frame before the skip. One soldier had stopped. He wasn't facing forward like the others. He was staring directly at the lens. At me. It wasn't coincidence. The feed wasn't live. It was a passive recording, years old, according to timestamp. But he was looking. Head tilted. Eyes unblinking behind mirrored glass. As if he knew. I scrubbed forward again, trying to see his fate after the skip. He was gone. No armor. No body. Just black and asphalt where he'd stood. The lens shimmered suddenly, not a malfunction. More like the frame itself, rejected what it had recorded. I turned away. Observation Deck 6 felt smaller than before. Tighter. The breathing sound had stopped. But something lingered. A sense. Like I was being watched. Not from the room. From below. From Earth. I filed the report. Logged the anomalies. Followed protocol. But I didn't send it. Because I already knew the outcome. I'd read the others' logs before they were redacted. All of them described similar events. Moments of disruption. Glitches in time. Gaze contact where none should exist. Then silence. None of those officers are still on duty. Some retired early. Others disappeared. And no one ever speaks their names. I tried to sleep later. Deck 6 has no rest quarters, but I folded into the reclined observer chair and closed my eyes. But sleep didn't come. Instead, I dreamed. I saw the Earth. Up close. Closer than physically possible. No craft, no orbit, just the sensation of falling toward it, pulled without gravity, just will. And then I wasn't falling anymore. I was standing. In the street. In the smoke. The wheel was still spinning. But there were no sounds. No birds. No air. Just an overwhelming stillness, like sound itself had been removed from the world. Then I heard footsteps behind me. I didn't turn. I couldn't. I just stared at the wheel, now slowing. Until a voice spoke, so close to my ear it bypassed hearing. "You're watching the wrong war." I woke gasping. Cold sweat. No alert from the biosensor. No record of cardiac spike. The system hadn't noticed. But I knew. I wasn't dreaming. Not entirely. The soldier had seen me. And now something else did too. Something watching us watch them. Something that doesn't like being studied. I haven't left observation deck 6 in 3 cycles. They haven't come to relieve me, and I haven't requested it. I no longer trust the command channel. I suspect they're monitoring me, but not in the usual way. Not for health metrics or report logs. I think they're waiting. To see how far it goes. How far I let it in. Last rotation, I tried to send the anomaly report again. I'd rewritten it. Made it clinical. Removed anything subjective. Just clean data points, timestamp irregularities, sensor disruptions, environmental shifts. I kept emotion out of it. Still got blocked. Submission flagged. Content exceeds passive classification parameters. That doesn't make sense. There are no such parameters for Deck 6. I checked the handbook 3 times. I don't sleep anymore. When I do rest, I don't dream, not in the conventional sense. I get images. Memories. Some are mine. Some aren't. 2 rotations ago, I woke with the smell of ash in my mouth. I checked the environmental logs. No particulate matter detected. Still, I brushed soot off my gloves. Couldn't stop until my palms were raw. They've been showing me things. Not directly. That's not how they operate. It's slower. They let the understanding unfold piece by piece. Like being handed tools for a machine that builds you. This morning, the lens feed focused on a desert zone. Red sand, fractured terrain. A convoy of human units rolled across it. No banners. No emblems. Just trucks, scarred and silent. The lens zoomed in. A boy sat in the back of one vehicle, maybe 12 standard years. He wore no armor. Just a dull gray coat, too large for his frame. His eyes weren't afraid. That's what caught me. He wasn't looking at his enemies. He was looking at something past them. Through them. I tapped the image to stabilize. His mouth was moving. No audio. We don't monitor vocal channels without clearance. But I read the lips. Slow. Deliberate. He said, "You will understand." 3 words. Not a threat. Not a warning. A promise. That phrase has followed me since. I hear it in the flicker of the lights. In the hum of the oxygen cycle. I saw it written in condensation on the viewport this morning, letters etched as though drawn from the inside, not the out. I didn't touch it. I just stared until it faded. I've stopped eating. I don't feel hunger. The biosensor hasn't flagged anything. Either it's been tampered with, or I've moved beyond what it can measure. There's a pattern forming in the anomalies. I see it now. All the cities where the footage corrupts, they form a ring. A wide, deliberate circle. Inside it, nothing. No signals. No movement. Just emptiness. But emptiness is never neutral. I think they've created a containment zone. Not for their enemies. For us. For observers. Like they're inviting us to keep looking. To keep scanning. To find something. But the moment you begin, they change you. Like they did with the others. One of the previous deck officers, 10ALV, left behind a private note in the system buffer. I found it buried deep in the restricted archive, disguised as a medical calibration string. It read, "They don't kill us. They just open a door inside our thoughts. And once it's open, they don't have to do anything else." I don't know what happened to 10AL. But I see things now. Not visions. Not hallucinations. Alignments. Like two worlds occupying the same space, and if I look too long in one direction, the veil slips. Last night, I saw my own reflection in the glass. Except, it didn't match. It blinked too late. It turned its head slightly before I did. Just out of sync. I sat there, staring at myself, or something pretending to be, for nearly an hour. At the end, it smiled. Not a threatening smile. Something worse. A patient one. Like it had waited this entire time for me to notice. And now it had my attention. Today I ran a system-wide diagnostic. Not to check the equipment. To test something else. I initiated a false emergency protocol. Hull breach, minor, quadrant 7. The system responded with full lockdown protocol. Except, I hadn't sent it yet. The system anticipated it. Responded 1 full second before my input. That's not a glitch. That's prediction. No, not even that. That's response to something already known. It means they're not just watching us through the data. They're writing it. We're inside the narrative now. Our actions are part of the feedback loop. We observe, we affect, we absorb. And they're learning from our reactions. Every rotation, they reveal a little more. Not to scare. To condition. I'm beginning to think the war on Earth never ended. Or maybe it never really started. Maybe this was the war. From the beginning. Not to conquer. To unfold. I tried to leave Deck 6. Override request. Rotation end. Personal disembark authorization. The door didn't open. Instead, the intercom clicked once. And then breathing. Heavy. Rhythmic. Human. But low. Deeper than lungs allow. I didn't speak. I just waited. And then the voice returned. Same as in the dream. You will understand. This time, it wasn't just a whisper. It was inside my head. The lights dimmed, slowly. Earth filled the glass. Not spinning anymore. Just waiting. I don't know what time it is. The clocks still function. I can read them. But they no longer feel connected to anything. The numbers change, but nothing moves forward. No new directives. No rotations. No voice from command. Just me. And Earth. It hasn't left the viewport. Hasn't rotated. It just sits there, frozen in orbit, clouds too still, oceans unmoving. The kind of stillness that doesn't belong to physical matter. It's the stillness of attention. I think it's watching me now. Not symbolically. Not metaphorically. Literally. The lens adjusted itself today. I didn't issue a command. It zoomed inward. Down to a single city block in what used to be North America. Concrete. Glass. Empty streets. An alley split in two by a single crack in the pavement. There was movement. A man, human, stepped into view. Mid-30s. Dirty clothes. skin pale from lack of sun. He looked up at the sky, not at the satellite or lens. At me. Directly. He lifted a hand. Not to wave. To point. Straight up. Straight at me. And then, he smiled. Not the smug, defiant kind. A knowing smile. Like I was the one being observed all along. Like I was a specimen under glass. Then he vanished. No visual distortion. No flash. Just there, then gone. The system didn't log the footage. I rewound it, frame by frame, nothing. As if it never happened. But I still see him when I close my eyes. I tried to speak today. To myself. Just to hear my own voice. But when I opened my mouth, no sound came out. No physical obstruction. My throat worked. My breath moved. But silence. I checked the vocal sensor logs. They registered 2 voices. Mine. And another. Both silent. I'm not alone anymore. Not physically. There's no presence. No footsteps. No door opening. But something else is here. In the space around me. I feel it in the pauses between my thoughts. Like a pressure, gently guiding the shape of my next conclusion. It doesn't speak in language. It doesn't need to. It lets me arrive. That's what's most terrifying. Not invasion. Not destruction. Permission. 3 cycles ago, I believed I was studying them. Now I know they were studying how I study. Not to understand me. To reshape me. Every soldier who looked into our lens, every boy who mouthed those 3 words, every smile aimed at nothing, they were instructions. Not threats. And now that I finally understand, the next step is obvious. Integration. Today I touched the viewport. The glass didn't feel solid. It rippled. Not visibly, but in pressure. My hand didn't resist. It simply rested in something that gave too easily. And then I heard it. The wheel again. The one from the empty street in Chapter 1. Squeaking faintly. Turning. Slower now. But still turning. And beneath it, the breathing returned. This time, it came from me. But not my body. From the space I should have occupied. I turned to the side. A mirror panel reflects the observer's seat for calibration purposes. I wasn't in it. But something else was. It had my face. Almost. Just cleaner. More symmetrical. More efficient. It blinked once. Then it spoke. You will understand. But not in my voice. In the voice of command. I don't resist. That's not how it works. You don't fight them. You accept the invitation. Because by the time you notice, it's already too late. This wasn't war. This wasn't surveillance. This was onboarding. And now I know the final step. I stand at the center of Deck 6. I don't need to sit anymore. I don't need rest. The lens remains open. Earth looms, now impossibly close, details visible with no magnification. A bird crosses the screen. A red kite. Wings stretched, coasting between buildings. Its shadow falls toward the street. But there's no street anymore. Just water. Calm. Reflective. Like glass. Like this station. Like me. I am Keith Veruin. Or. I was. I am no longer observing. I am part of the story now. And someone, somewhere, is watching me. Waiting to understand. Final line unresolved. The boy in the coat appears again. Only this time, he's on Deck 6. And he's smiling at the next observer through the glass.